let's move on to the tech feudalist nightmare that we currently live in.
Oh,
so, you actually sent me this video the other day. It really was an eye-opening moment for you vis-a-vis AI and the oligarchs who were in charge on that issue. So, as you know, Trump the other day had this big event with all these tech asshole billionaires next to him. We're going to do a $500 billion program where we're going to make amazing AI. And it was sort of vague how it was presented, like, oh, they raised $100 billion, then we're going to find the rest. But also, Elon says, actually, no, they only have $10 billion, so that's not true. And
yeah, it was
so
kind
there's
of
a
funny
lot of
for Elon to chime in like that.
There's a lot of like, what the hell's going on here type
Yeah.
stuff, right? Well, you know, my speculation. You pointed out a lot of the Gulf Arab states might be pouring in money, which is horrendous. I fear at some point they're going to try to subsidize it with U.S. tax money. But this promise of AI that they're selling is like, this is going to transform everything and it's going to be for good. It's going to be amazing. But again, you found this video beforehand. Let me show everybody, then we'll discuss.
I don't know exactly when it'll come. I don't know if it'll be 2027. I think it's plausible it could be longer than that. I don't think it will be a whole bunch longer than that, when AI systems are better than humans at almost everything, better than almost all humans at almost everything, and then eventually better all humans than everything. Even robotics, we make good enough AI systems, they'll enable us to make better robots. And so when that happens, we will need to have a conversation at places like this, right? At places like this event about, you know, how do we organize our economy, right? How do humans find meaning, right? There are a lot of assumptions we've made when humans were the most intelligent species on the planet, that are going to be invalidated by what's happening with AI. And I think the only good thing about it is that we'll all be in the same boat. I'm actually afraid of the world where 30% of human labor becomes fully automated by AI, and the other 70%. That's going to cause this just incredible, you know, class war between the groups that have been and the groups that haven't been. If we're all in the same boat, it's not going to be easy, but I actually feel better about it, because we're going to have to sit down and say, whoa, you know, it's not like we're randomly picking every third person and saying you're useless. We're all in the same boat. We've recognized that we've reached the point as a technological civilization where the idea, there's huge abundance and huge economic value, but the idea that the way to distribute that value is for humans to produce economic labor, and this is where they feel their sense of self-worth. Once that idea gets invalidated, we're all going to have to sit down and figure it out.
So, I mean, that's just as clear of an admission as you can get that AI is coming to take your job and replace you.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
Yeah, and listen, maybe they're high on their own supply and they're not capable of rendering every human being's labor useless, which is what, by the way, this is the Anthropic CEO. That's Google has invested billions into Anthropic. This is sort of Google's AI effort. That's the Anthropic CEO. That is their ambition. Their ambition is to make all human labor worthless.
That's what they're saying.
That's what he said. And that's what he says gives him comfort. That it won't just be 30% whose labor is rendered. It will be everyone. So we'll all be in the same. That's what he is happy about, hopeful about. Like, did you vote for this? Did you ask for this? Have you been consulted about this? They believe, you really need to go and read what they're writing and what they believe with an almost truly religious devotion. Like, they think AI is going to make them immortal. I'm not kidding. They think that this is the savior of humanity and all of this. But we also have to look at, okay, first of all, you all, the small group of billionaire oligarchs, are making decisions in a back room and with political figures like Trump that you intend to thoroughly upend human society as we know it. You're making those decisions with no input from us.
And
that's
no
number
plans
one.
to deal with the fallout.
And no plans to deal. He says, oh, when that happens, we should have a conversation. Maybe we should have a conversation now, before it happens, before it's not too late. How about that? And then you also have to look at the ways they're actually deploying AI today, which is not for the grand benefit of humanity, but for things like mass murdering Palestinian civilians in Gaza.
That's the Lavender AI.
Yes, and DropSite has a new report on this morning. They 972 magazine also reported this as well, that one of Microsoft's largest AI customers, and Microsoft and OpenAI, that's Sam Altman, they're together in this. Their largest AI customer, the Israeli military.
Yeah, and then you also have United Health rejecting claims based on AI. Like, okay.
Amazon firing workers just simply based on AI. No humans involved.
They pitch AI as if it's this grand technological advancement that's going to be good for all of us. But if you actually look at what AI has done to this point, it's the exact opposite.
Yes.
Everything's the opposite. Everything is like, people are going to lose their jobs. We're going to use this to increase profits for the wealthiest among us and screw over regular people. Every single step of the way. This is what AI does. It does. The one benefit is you get to make goofy pictures, AI pictures. Wow, right? Like,
look,
everything else is negative.
I like ChatGPT. Does that make up for using algorithmic, weapons against babies in Gaza? No, it does not. And and that's the core thing is, almost it feels sort of hopeless. Like it feels like the horse is already out of the barn or the train was left the station or whatever. But if you have corporations driving the development of this and owning the tech behind this, it means, of course, they're not using AI for humanity's benefit. They're using it for their own profit maximization. Like, that's the most obvious thing in the world. And occasionally that may line up with our interests, like with, oh, ChatGPT, this is cool, But by and large, no, it's going to be for mass surveillance, mass killing, mass job loss, mass denial of healthcare. And that's not me saying that. That's their own words about their ambitions for what they're developing here.
The religious adherence to technological innovation. Like, sometimes, this is a controversial thing to say, which it shouldn't be at all, but sometimes innovation is horrible. We innovated the nuclear bomb. You think the world would be better off with or without that? 100% it'd be better off without it. Like, people, we watched this big thing on, like, the unintended consequences of social media. Everybody, social media, there's this big promise. We're going to get closer together. We're going to share information instantaneously. We're going to be interconnected all the time, etc. They pitch the good things. And then just now, we're coming to terms that there's a lot of fucking bad things, maybe an equal number or even more bad things. The massive flow of misinformation and disinformation on a regular basis. The rise of the far right, including neo-Nazism again, because of social media. The truth, as they say, the truth can't get its fucking pants on, and the lie's already been all the way around the world.
Yeah.
We're just dealing now with the fallout of that. And their reaction is, let's do more technological innovation, not fucking think or care about the consequences, and see what happens. And now we're talking about when your ideal goal is to replace people and their jobs.
Right. That's what you're working towards.
So that means even if you win, even if you succeed on your terms with what you want to do, it's like this is a fucking society-changing disaster. Because it'd be one thing if we already had relatively equal power shared everywhere and we could democratically decide everybody gets assigned an AI or a machine and it does work for you and you reap the benefits of it. You get paid for it. That'd be one thing. We don't live in that world. We live in the world where the bottom 80% of the country has 7% of the wealth. We live in the world where a handful of robber barons has more wealth than the bottom 90% of the country combined. That's the world we live in. So obviously, AI is going to reflect that reality. Obviously, it's going to be screwing over regular people. And this drove me crazy, Trump's announcement with his AI thing. We still have 26 million Americans who are uninsured. They don't even have health care. We just had an uptick in 18% in homeless people in this country to 770,000 people. Medical bills are still the #1 cause of bankruptcy. We still have basic, like, fucking potholes in the roads all across this country. We got all these basic-ass problems.
Yeah.
It's like, let's splurge $500 billion for some dumbass AI, which is overpromised anyway, but even if they do the things that they say they want to do, we're in a lot of trouble. Like that Larry Ellison guy, he was out there saying, well, obviously citizens will be on their best behavior with my new AI creation because we're going to surveil everybody all the time.
Yeah.
He brings it up like it's like
we
good
all
on
want
its
that.
face. Like, people don't want to be spied on 24/7. The other thing he said the other day, I'm sure you saw this, we're going to have personalized mRNA vaccines for everybody to prevent them from getting cancer that can be made by AI robotics in 48 hours. It's like, first of all, you're full of fucking shit.
I saw a lot of medical experts that were like, that's not
total
how
bullshit.
this is going to work.
Okay, we are being run not just by robber barons, y'all, but by snake oil salesmen and con men. That's who now has consolidated power in this country. Snake oil salesmen and robber barons. This is an ugly place to be, bro.
Yeah.
And again, we need voices to fight back against this. I'm now on team, we should make a stand against further AI development.
I agree.
Against it. Like, no, this is actually a bad idea.
And it's already gotten, it's already so far along. It's deeply troubling. And there's a real tie-in, like a direct tie-in too with the climate crisis, because okay, so this
energy
alleged $500 billion, what it's going to go to do is to build out data centers, which are incredibly power hungry. Like the carbon footprint on this is absolutely massive. That's part of why, I mean, he's always ideologically been drill, baby, drill. But that's the other direction, is like we need more and more and more fossil fuel resources to fuel this AI development that no one asked for. And then the other piece of this is, of course, you know, the way they lie to you, like they want to act like some poor mom from, you know, Guatemala is the one who's a threat to your job. And meanwhile, they're hosting these motherfuckers at the White House who are out and out, just like overtly like, we're taking your job. Our goal is to destroy everyone's job, all of them, no matter who you are or what you do. We want to destroy all your jobs. That's our goal. And those are the people being hosted at the White House and celebrated. Like, it's just insane. It's utterly insane.
Final point. They genuinely want tech feudalism. Trump said the other day that his like favorite era in American history, or the best time in American history, was like around 1900.
Gilded Age.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's we're talking about tenement housing. We're talking about child labor. We're talking about literal robber baron age, the Gilded Age.
Before you even had an income tax at that point.
Yes. And he looks at that and he goes, that's my favorite time. Why? Because 1% had fucking everything and everybody else was fighting for the crumbs. He's saying the quiet part out loud. And guess what? Now snuggling up to all these tech oligarchs, or the broligarchs as many people are calling them, tech broligarchs. This is the world they're trying to create.
Yeah.
Technofeudalism. Go read Curtis Yarvin. This guy is their ideological mastermind, their philosopher king. And he's open about the fact he wants a dark enlightenment. He wants us to live in a tech feudalist society with little fiefdoms where assholes like Elon Musk, he might run one fiefdom and JD Vance might run another fiefdom or whatever. This is what they want.
Yeah.
Authoritarianism. Tech, feudalism, and authoritarianism. That's what it is.
Yeah, that's exactly right. They interviewed him at the New York Times, which, I mean, they should, because he's influential. And this isn't like one of those, oh, if you like read into what he's saying or, you know, theoretically parse it. No, he is out and out like, I believe in monarchies. That's what I think. Apple is successful because Apple is a monarchy with a king CEO at the top, and that's how our country should be governed.
Yeah.
That is his ideology. That is what they want, and that's what they are sort of successfully effectuating at this point.
Hey, guys, we had a great conversation with Mike of the Humanist Report, Mike Figueredo. Definitely check it out. It was very therapeutic, very fun, also very angry. You could sign up below on Substack.